Hi, it's Caitlin from Caitlin Swatches, and I'm here today with my November polish pickup video. I can't believe we're at the November polish pickup video. This year has gone by so quickly. I don't know where time has gone. But anyway, the theme for November is 'Tis the Season. There's a lot of really festive, seasonally appropriate polishes that I'm very excited about sharing. So these polishes will be available for pre-order from November 4th through the 7th. I'll include the specific information down in the description, as well as a link to the polish pickup shop. And I guess we should just get into the nail polish. Let's start with Bee's Knees. We'll go in alphabetical order. So this one is called Perchta. I think that's correct. I googled how to pronounce it. And it's described as a icy sibling to a lion with a thorn in its paw, which is a previous Bee's Knees polish that lots of people love. This one has red to green shimmer and extra hollow flakes. So this one takes inspiration from Guided by Marissa Meyer and the Winter Huntress Perchta. So this polish built up really nicely in 2 coats for me, and I'm using Top Coat to bring back the shine because it dries down just a tiny bit dull. But this one is absolutely beautiful, and I am going to compare it to Guess What from Bee's Knees Lacquer, which is a polish that a lot of people ask for comparisons for. So here it is. And this polish, as you're going to see, just wherever you catch it, it looks beautiful, but it looks so different in every type of lighting. So here it is by my window, and it looks super rainbowy, and there's like a really beautiful yellowy green shift to it, as well as that pinky shift. So this one will definitely keep you entertained. It has a beautiful formula, and those hollow flakes are just beautiful. Here we have Clionadh Cosmetics, and this one is called Crackling Embers. So this one is described as a sheer brown base with hot orange gold lime shifting shimmer and peach gold lime shifting iridescent flakes. So this one is obviously inspired by the crackling embers on a fire, and that's making me very excited for the upcoming holiday season. But this polish, as you can see, is sheer, and I recommend building it up in 3 coats. The polish has a really good formula, but it is thin, so you can't really do thick coats, so it's best to go in thin coats and build them up. So it does dry down with the tiniest bit of dullness, so definitely use a glossy top coat. This will be easy to remove. There's nothing glittery in here. It's just a really nice shimmer with a ton of flakes, as you are going to see here when I start moving my hand around. This is ridiculously shifty. I love that extreme lime shift. It's super beautiful and unexpected. And then as you see my hand here, you can really catch the shift in the flakes. This one is Cupcake Polish Jingle Jangle, and this one's inspired by the Christmas lights, which I believe is a movie. And this is a black jelly nail polish filled with green, gold, red iridescent flakies, red metallic flakies, and green metallic flakies. So this polish, when I saw it in the bottle, I kind of freaked out. I do celebrate Christmas, and I don't want to get too sad about it, but Christmas used to mean a lot more to me than it does now. And this one just sort of brought back these really beautiful, warm, nostalgic memories of vintage Christmas ornaments, which I've always had a soft spot for. And that's exactly what this polish looks like. So I absolutely love this one. It builds up beautifully in 3 coats. I would recommend building it up in 3 thin coats so you get that black base totally built up. And as you can see here, hopefully you see what I mean about sort of those foily vintage metallic ornaments. It's just incredible. I love the shifts in the flakes. It's just like Christmas in a bottle. And of course I was like, this is going to look super good matte. So I threw on a matte top coat, and as you can see, I wasn't wrong. I think this looks absolutely beautiful, both glossy and matte. And it's just a really special polish for me. Here we have Cuticula, That's a Wrap, and this one is described as a plum base full of an intense orange to green to gold shifting flame and small hollow flakes. So this one's inspired by a picture of a present wrapped up with a bow. And this one has a really nice formula. So the purple in this is just a really beautiful, rich, sort of royal shade of purple, and the shimmer stands out really beautifully, as does the hollow. So as you can see, it builds up really nicely in 2 coats. I don't think anyone would need more than that. And it does dry down a touch dull, so Cuticula is also offering their Limitless Quick Dry Top Coat in the scent Meltdown. So this one is described as having a sweet, fresh, cool peppermint scent with top notes of peppermint and spearmint, middle notes of corn mint and sweet mint, and bottom notes of snow, cotton candy, and vanilla cream. So this is one of those sweet sort of minty shades which are perfect for the holiday season. And as you can see, the shimmer in this one is incredibly intense. It's just a really beautiful polish in whatever lighting you catch it in. Thankfully, there was a touch of sun, so I was able to show off the hollow for you. And I just love the Limitless Top Coat as well. Here we have Glisten and Glow Magical Winter. And this one is described as a dusty medium purple crelly loaded with silver and rose gold metallic flakes. So this one's inspired by the purple hues of winter skies that reflect on the fresh snowfall. And this one has a really nice formula, which, as you can see, starts off really sheer, but actually by the second coat, it was fully opaque for me. There are a ton of flakes in there. The base is on the sort of creamier side rather than that jelly crelly, so it does build up to opacity in 2 coats, and I would recommend glossy top coat. It doesn't dry textured and it won't be difficult to remove, but a glossy top coat is always your friend. So here it is in 2 coats plus top coat, and I really like how the silver and rose gold flakes appear. And Glisten and Glow is also offering a duo of cuticle removers, so we'll talk about that one first. So this one is scented in Winter Cheer, which is orange, cinnamon leaf, clove, cranberry, and baked vanilla. It's a really nice smell, and this is what I use to remove my cuticle, which really, I don't really have any, so I tried to show off how you would use it. So you apply it just to the nail plate. So the cuticle is not that thing we usually think it is. It's actually the little residue that often sticks to your nail around the base of it. So I've applied it just to my nail, and I'm using a glass cuticle pusher from nailstuff.ca. I'll link them down in my description, but I just use that to gently push back any excess cuticle that maybe was there. And now I go and wash my hands, because you want to wash this off. So you go and wash your hands with soap and water, and hopefully you can see it looks a little cleaner. I know it was pretty good to start off with. And now I have the cuticle oil, which is scented in Sugar Plum. It's really beautiful. It's mildly spicy, lightly sugary, and it's just a really nice foodie scent if you're into food scents. And just like the cuticle remover, it's a push-up pen style. So you just twist it, and then I kind of just go wild with it. I apply it all over my nail, all around the cuticle, at the tips of my fingers, anywhere you want that extra bit of hydration. And it's really good for strengthening your nails, and they just look really healthy after I use cuticle oil. So I use it like 10 times a day, no exaggeration. We're moving on to Great Lakes Lacquer Lake Superior Shenanigans, and I'm showing you this bottle for like 5 minutes because it's absolutely stunning. So this one is inspired by a snapshot in time of the northern lights over a snow-covered beach in winter. And Mariah says if you've ever been by, drove by, or lived by Lake Superior, you'll know it pulls some serious shenanigans in the winter. So this one is inspired by the white of freshly fallen snow, which is the base, and it has an extra helping of green to blue to purple shifting aurora shimmer and a bit of scattered holographic pigment. So this one builds up perfectly in 2 coats. For a white polish, it has a ridiculously good formula. I will recommend Top Coat because it dries down a little bit dull, but this polish is seriously stunning. If you like whites, this is a treat for you because I'm a huge fan of ethereal white polishes, and this one blew my socks off. So as you can see, it is incredibly shifty. It looks like a different polish depending on which light you catch it in. I kind of just had to go around everywhere I could to show it off as best as I could because this polish has a million faces and I kind of love every single one. Now we're moving on to Paint It Pretty Polish Bumbles Bounce, and this one's inspired by the abominable snowman in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So this one is a white crelly with an assortment of black glitters and flakes. So this polish has a really nice formula. I just love it so much, and I chose to just leave it at 2 coats. I know some people would want to take it to 3, but because I have such short, small nails, I didn't want to make it too thick, and I did want to smooth it out entirely, so I used the Cuticula Quenched Glitter Top Coat, which is not available this month in the polish pickup, but it usually is, so hopefully another month will pass and you can grab it. And then after that dries, I apply the Cuticula Limitless Quick Dry Top Coat, and it just gives you the smoothest, glassiest finish ever, which is perfect for a crelly like this. It will be a little difficult to remove because there are some glitters in there, but I didn't find it too bad. So here it is in 2 coats plus 2 coats of top coat. And here's Painted Polish Feelin Frosty. So this one is a really cute winter crelly. It's inspired by a frosty winter scene, and it features blue, aqua, periwinkle, blue frost, and lilac metallic glitters in a white crelly base. So everybody knows how much I love Painted Polish and their crelly formula. This one is literal perfection. It builds up in 2 coats to full opacity. You get a really nice white crelly base, and then there's just a ton of glitters. Once again, I use the Cuticula Quenched Top Coat because this will dry with quite a bit of texture and it will be a little difficult to remove. So keep that in mind if that's a deterrent for you, but it's not for me because this polish is so worth it. And you apply the glitter top coat and then apply a regular glossy top coat. I use the Limitless Top Coat again, which is available this month from Cuticula. And I just love how this one looks when you get that smooth glossy finish. Polished for Days has created Noble Fur, and this one's described as a darkened sage green holographic flake base with green to yellow to gold shifting iridescent flakes. So this one was inspired by decorated trees, which is just getting me very excited for Christmas time. And this has a fantastic formula, so it builds up perfectly in 2 coats. I don't think anyone would need more than that. And the really great news is that I didn't experience any staining with this one. So it has a really pigmented base, but Jenna knows how to make a great polish, and I know she tests her polishes really well to make sure there's no staining. So this one looks fantastic when you build it up in 2 coats plus top coat. It does dry down a little dull, so you definitely want a glossy top coat to get the smoothest possible finish. And thankfully the sun was out, so I was able to capture the holographic rainbow effect in this one. But it honestly looks good in every lighting because of those iridescent flakes. And I just love the base color of this green. We're moving on to Sassy Sauce. This one is called Pinch My Grinch, so I believe it's inspired by the Grinch. And yes, it's the picture of the Grinch with the ornament, and I totally see that when I look at this polish. So this one is a dark green thermal when it's cold, and it has a strong pinky red copper golden shimmer and red hollow micro glitters, as well as red flakes that fade away when warm, leaving a stunning sparkling shimmer base. So This one built up really nicely for me in 2 coats. It had a really good formula. It was really easy to work with. And as you're going to see when this one transitions to its warm state, it's sort of a clear base. So all you're left with is the intense shimmer and the flakes, which stand out really beautifully. So there is a bit of texture from those red flakes, so I recommend a good thick glossy top coat. It's not too difficult to remove. But here it is when my fingers were warmed up. You can see my warm fingers are my 3rd and 4th, and my 1st and 2nd are when it's cold. So it's a really nice contrast between the 2 states for the thermal, and the shimmer is just super intense and really, really special. So I really love how well she captured the spirit of the Grinch with this polish. And last but certainly not least, we have Wildflower Lacquer, Perhaps a Christmas Gourd. And this one's inspired by Moira from Schitt's Creek, and it's probably something ridiculous she said. I'm going to have to rewatch that show soon. But this one's described as a deep cherry red base with pink to orange shifting shimmer. And this has a really intense pigmented base, and it builds up really well in 2 coats, but this one was a stainer for me, so definitely double up on your base coat if you don't want to have stained nails. So this dries down a little bit dull. Definitely use a good glossy top coat. I do really love the Cuticula Limitless Top Coat. That's what I'm using here for this polish, and this is like a Christmas ornament with that red foily finish. It's really so intense, and hopefully you can sort of catch the orange shift that is in this polish. This is like Christmas in a bottle to me as well. It's just a really, really beautiful polish, and Wildflower does these reds so well. So if I had to pick some standouts for me, I would say that the Great Lakes Lacquer is like the polish that I've always kind of dreamed of, and I've never really seen anybody make, but just this beautiful white with so much shimmer. So I really love that one. I also really love the polish for Days. It's just like that classic kind of Christmas green, and it makes me really happy, and it's also super beautiful because of those iridescent flakes. And I know it's not like the flashiest polish in the bunch, but I really love the Paint It Pretty polish. There's just something about like a white crelly with those black flakes that I really, really like. So I like that one a lot as well. Let me know in the comments if any of these are going to make it into your shopping cart. Let me know what else is on your wish list. I'm pretty excited to check out the shop when it opens. So I guess that's it for me. I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye!